If you've never hit rock bottom, you can splat, you can stay and bounce along, or you can bounce back up. And I decided to bounce back up. And after 2 years of working on myself, I was trying to figure out, why did all these things happen? Why did I have call reluctance? Why did I avoid making tough decisions? Why did I stay in relationships I shouldn't have stayed in? Why did I let my weight get up to 540 pounds? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just was looking at all the things that I did, and I realized that there were things that I did that happened during my childhood that created this fear of.
So give us a simple follow-up framework that an agent can use this week.
As soon as you get triggered, that's when all that other crappy stuff kicks in. The only way to get out of fight or flight and into rest and digest is through breathing and calming down. Because what happens is your brain feels the need to run up and protect you right away. It's afraid of something, but it equates the fear of that something with the fear of whatever's coming down the pike. When we feel fear, we run.
Most agents don't have a lead problem. They have a phone problem. And according to today's guest, that phone problem is usually not about scripts or CRMs or follow-up systems. It's actually about fear, rejection, and identity. So let's bring to the stage Mr. Wally Bressler. Wally, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Michael? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you as always. Thank you.
Man, I'm so glad. Welcome to the Leverage Lounge. Hey, and for agents who don't know you yet, what are you known for today?
I would say I'm the guy that helps people get really, really good on the phone. I do a lot of coaching. I've helped out with all aspects of business coaching. Right now, I'm the guy that helps people get really, really good on the phone. And if they can't, if they can't get on the phone, I help them get on the phone so they can become really, really good on the phone. I would say that's probably where I'm spending most of my time now.
What are some of the patterns that you see over and over again from agents? Like, why do agents blame leads when the real issue might actually be their follow-up?
A lot of people don't even realize that they have call reluctance, and they have no idea where it comes from. It's been part of them. The avoidance of painful things has been part of them since they were little kids. And so they just assume that naturally, because they don't like cold calling, or they don't want to bother people, they don't like to be bothered, they don't like to be cold called, because other people don't want to be treated that way as well, right? So a lot of times we use our view of the world to determine how other people feel, even though that's not necessarily the truth. But ideally, it's been avoidance for such a long time, they don't even realize that it's an avoidance problem. They just think they can't pick up the phone, or they're afraid of the phone, or they're afraid of what somebody's going to say, or they fear rejection or whatever, but they don't really know where it comes from. And it's more like, I know when I go to pick up the phone, I either want to throw up, or I just freeze, or I just, the next thing you know, that pile of laundry on the couch takes in an inordinate level of importance in their brain. Some folks even know they have call reluctance. They just don't know where it comes from. And what I've learned is that 59% of all salespeople have a very strong need to be liked, which means they fear rejection. They fear not being liked. Some people will call people they don't know, but they won't call people they do know. And some people will call people they do know, but they won't call people they don't know. And some people don't want to call anybody. And most of it's just a lack of understanding, lack of awareness of where it comes from, and then giving it any sort of title other than call reluctance.
So is call reluctance really a fear of the phone, or is it more of a fear of rejection?
Fear of something bad happening, whatever that could be. Could be lack of approval, could be lack of acceptance, could be fear of rejection, could be fear of getting yelled at, could be fear of not being good enough. And a lot of times the call reluctance is the symptom, but it's not the actual thing it's related to. Like, for instance, there's people who get bullied when they're kids. And so they become perfectionists, thinking that if I'm perfect, there's no reason not to like me.
Right.
But then they go through their whole life of being perfect, and they're like, oh, my scripts aren't ready. I got to know everything I'm going to say. I got to know every possible answer to every question, which even after 20 years, I can't answer every question. Somebody asked me the other day, like, can you get listing leads from Google Maps? I'm like, you might be able to. I mean, I don't know. But the point is, I'm willing to say I don't know. Some people don't want to do that. But it shows up as call reluctance, but it could be fear of rejection, fear of not being liked, fear of not being perfect, fear of making a mistake, fear of not being good enough. It's all tied to that stuff that starts at a very young age, when either some sort of trauma sits in, or some sort of experience that triggers your flight instinct, and your brain goes on high alert and decides it's going to protect you from things it doesn't need to protect you from,
Yeah, I mean, I've heard you argue that agents will not be able to build like a consistent, scalable real estate business without learning to use the phone for prospecting, follow-up, and lead nurturing. But what does that look like in a day and age right now, where there's a lot of agents who are leaning on social media to get their leads, or even very successful YouTube channels where the calls are inbound, or are those just outliers?
Well, first of all, 61.2% of all internet generated leads are converted over the phone. So 2/3 of the leads that are generated online are over the phone. And most people don't have the financial wherewithal to go and do a lot of the stuff they need to generate consistent leads from a variety of different places. So they have to go to the lead purveyors to buy the leads that are generated on the internet, right? The purposes of clarity here, leads that are generated online are from Facebook, Instagram, or pay-per-click. That's it. They don't come from anyplace else. So if they're generated online, that's mostly where they come from. Now, here's the thing. I mean, AI doesn't necessarily get people to pick the phone up. It gets them to raise their hand.
Yeah.
When you're saying inbound, meaning they're like, hey, I'm interested in talking to you. Right. They're not picking up the phone and calling you though, right?
Well, no, I mean, with YouTube, they are like, with that CTA is like, hey, give us a call if you have any questions about this house or any other houses that we've shown you on this channel. And then they're calling. But I mean, to your point, it's still the phone.
That's not the preponderance of the leads though, right? That's
correct. No, those are outliers.
Agreed. Yeah. Right. Correct. So my whole point is, as good as AI and social media and YouTube do as far as a job to get people closer to the end zone, get them to the 5-yard line, the majority of your leads are still going to need you to pick the phone up to call them to get them the remaining 5 yards to come meet with you. I still need to get on the phone to call you, talk to you, and compel you to come meet with me and give you a compelling reason to do that. Okay?
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, the consistency that's required with AI, with social media, with YouTube to do that is going to elude 80% of real estate agents anyway. Because here's why. The same thing that causes somebody to not want to pick up the phone is the same thing that kills their consistency, kills them going to the gym consistently, kills them prospecting consistently, kills them sticking with their goals, sticking with their calendar. Like all those same issues that come up in your life related to consistency don't just impact your ability to talk to people. It's posting consistently. It's recording consistently. It's working out consistently. It's sticking to your calendar and all that other stuff. So you can have AI in place. You can program things. You can have all that stuff, but usually the same challenges that impact people who are picking up the phone to call also impact people's ability to do the things that they need to do to make that other stuff work on a regular basis.
It's very much a how you do one thing is how you do everything type of thing, huh?
Bingo.
Now, you were in corporate America before getting into real estate, but you got into real estate around what, like age 30, I read?
It was like 90. Yeah. It was 30 years old, 1998. Yeah. You know why?
Yeah. Why?
Because I had call reluctance.
You got into real estate because you had call reluctance?
No, I didn't get in until I was 30 because I had call reluctance.
Oh, it took you that long because you had call reluctance.
Took me 10 years. Yeah.
What did corporate America teach you that helped you in sales?
Externally, and again, like you said earlier, this isn't a scripting thing. This isn't a tactic thing. This isn't a strategy thing. But, I worked in the mutual fund industry. I worked on the sales desk. I worked with brokers and then I worked with a wholesaler. We worked with people in a specific area in the country. I used to go out on the road and speak in front of people all the time. You've got to use that pain as a leverage. You got to decide that you're not willing to accept anything anymore. I had a really bad day in corporate America and I called my mentor like, hey, what did you do today? He's like, oh, well, I had a couple closings, rode my motorcycle to the coast, had a couple checks waiting for me when I come back. I paid my deck now. I'm like, I want that. And they just wasn't willing to work 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day for somebody else. I made a decision that I was going to work through whatever I needed to work through so I could get on the phone. I sold 72 houses in my first 14 months in the business, 71 buyers, one seller, prospected my rear end off and did what I was told to do. But it took me 10 years to get there. Now I help people do it in like 2 months. But
wow.
Yeah, that was it, man. I just, I learned everything I needed. Not everything. I know a lot of what I needed to do in corporate America, working in the mutual fund industry, doing sales presentations, sales calls, and things like that. But there's people who are amazing salespeople that can't get on the phone, or they can't get in front of somebody.
Yeah. Another arrow in the quiver in your tool belt. But when did you realize that your gift was not just selling, but helping others sell? Because, you wrote a book about this stuff. So we can get into the details of the book as well. But when did you realize that your gift wasn't just selling, but you can actually teach other people how to do this thing?
Probably 2 years after a trip straight to rock bottom.
Tell us about that.
Spent a year in federal prison for mail fraud. My business partner lied at about $15 million worth of mortgages back in 2005 and 2006. And I got out of prison. I was homeless, had no car, no money, no house, no clothes, no food, like literally started my life over at 46. Fortunately, Jake Kinder Michael Reese gave me my job back at NAEA. So God bless them. Lived in Kinder's house for 4 months for what that's worth.
Just for the listener's sake, that NAEA is National Association of Expert Advisors.
Yes, better known as Honey Badger Nation now. So
yeah,
which I believe you're part of, correct?
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right. So anyway, though I had gotten back out and picked my life up, I hadn't really worked on all the things I needed to work on while I was away. And so still making lots of bad choices, still addicted to food and all kinds of other things, money. I'd blown probably $6 million by that time. I just had horrible self-esteem, really hadn't done the things I needed to do to become the person I need to be. And dated somebody super toxic, just wanted to be loved badly, accepted things I shouldn't have accepted. And then in September of 2019, she wouldn't move to be with me. So I broke up with her. 3 days later, I found out she was married the whole time we were together.
Wow.
And yeah. And then a month later, I was like, you know what? That's like the last of probably 1,000 fear-based, scarcity-based decisions. I decided I was going to take my own life. I think it was October 19th. And conversation with God reminding me of what it was like my dad died. I have 4 kids. I was like, I just can't do this. And so that was literally rock bottom for me.
At the time, you had 4 kids. How old were your kids?
19, 17, 15, 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I had 6 months of teenagers, all 4 teenagers. So, I don't recommend that either. So anyway, I hit rock bottom and I was like, okay. And if you've never hit rock bottom, you can splat, you can stay and bounce along, or you can bounce back up. And I decided to bounce back up, and I went and saw a counselor twice a week for almost 4 years. After 2 years of working on myself, I was trying to figure out, after looking, like, why did all these things happen? Why did I have call reluctance? Why did I avoid making tough decisions? Why did I stay in relationships I shouldn't have stayed in? Why did I let my weight get up to 540 pounds? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just was looking at all the things that I did, squandering money, not holding myself accountable, not being held accountable. And I realized that there were things that I did that happened during my childhood that created this fear of rejection, lack of accountability, all that stuff. And I'm like, And so I started doing a lot of work for myself. And so I was reading, doing counseling, going to conferences, and things were kind of gelling in my head. And then one of my clients, Brian O'Neill, we had just finished doing his beginning days, coaching, getting his one straight line strategic plan in place, getting his, what you remember, all that stuff, the budget, all that stuff. Said, okay, it's time to make calls. He's like, I don't make calls. I go to me. He goes, I'm afraid of the phone. Like, dude, you're a firefighter. Like, you go back into burning buildings when people are leaving. Like, you're saving lives on the sidewalk. You can't pick up the phone. He's like, no. And so I started looking at some of the stuff we were doing, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I did this. And I'm just looking at all these things, and I'm like, okay, how about this? And so then I started recommending them do these things. And 45 days later, we were working, and then he called me and says, hey, I just got a $500,000 listing. I go, nice. I go, how'd you get this? I was calling Fizbo's. He's like, yeah, I was calling Fizbo's, and the guy's got another $750,000 house to list. And it's like that proverbial light bulb goes off. Bing! And so I started doing crazy research on this. And then I just realized that our fight, freeze, or flight instinct usually gets triggered at a very young age, usually by something that's traumatic or sometimes even stressful things like parents fighting or growing up poor, or it could be just anything that, your brain is so programmed to protect you that even things that are stressful can trigger your avoidance. I just started doing research and was looking at these things, and I started talking with people, and then I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. And I went through the things that I went through to make myself. I lost like 200 pounds and did all kinds of things to get my life back in order. And so I started working with people back in March of 2021, and I published my first book. So now it's 5 years later, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of salespeople get over call reluctance. I mean, Brian, just for giggles, in 2024, he was the #1 agent for EXP for volume in South Carolina. This last year, he was #3. I think he sold over 70 houses, 6-time icon. I just told him what to do. Like, he had to do all the work, right? But I'm just saying, once you realize that there's nothing that can get in your way, I mean, it takes off.
Tell us about the book and why somebody should be reading it.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share this. It's called Rethink Everything You Think You Know About Prospecting. Kyle Draper from Higher Culture has a series called Rethink Everything. Kyle. Yep, Kyle's great. And I said, hey, what do you think about this? He says, I think we need this. I said, okay. And then Chris Heller from Place Former CEO of KW was like, hey, I think we need this. And so I wrote it, and basically everything I teach in my class in a book form. It just takes you through everything you need to know to do step by step to get over call reluctance. And you can do it. I mean, it's all right there, but it's just basically everybody thinks it's the phone and it's the lead. Michael Collier, the leads suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Heard that before.
Yeah. Just to put things in perspective, you're a successful agent. You're a great business person. And like out of 100 leads, you're going to talk to 10 or 15 people. Half of them are say they're going to do something. Half of them will show up, and then you're going to sell 1 to 3 houses. The average conversion rate on internet generated leads for real estate is 2.4%. For internet generated leads, period, it's only 1 to 4%. So the FUs, this is the wrong number. This is my cousin, my uncle. I'm going to wait. We're not interested. That's all figured into that, right? But even if I spent $50 on her, that I spent $5,000 on leads, 3 sales is still going to get you on the lean side, $25,000 to $35,000. Anytime you can 5 or 6x, 7x your money, you do that all day long, twice on Sunday, right? There. Yeah. So the leads don't suck. It's the skill and the effort that are the two big things. Is, am I calling enough? Which most salespeople don't call enough. 94% of all real estate agents are off the phone by contact number 4. The magic happens for 78% of the time at 7 or later. Number of contact attempts, 17 to 26. Most agents don't even get that close. So it's not that the leads suck. It's just you got to put in an effort. And then when you get on the phone, be able to convert those at a high level. So this book here basically says, okay, let's find out where the call reluctance comes from. And here are the step-by-step strategies you need to follow to get out of your own way. And the great thing is it's like a cut that heals. Once it's healed, it never comes back. It's gone because you've rewired your brain.
It takes a tactical approach. There's a lot of books that we read that are great books, and we're like, oh my gosh, that was a great book. And you feel like it's kind of life-changing when you read it. But most people read great books and do nothing with them because there's no real instruction on what to do next, right? I mean, it gives you some paradigm shifts maybe in the way that you think, but it doesn't say, hey, here's where you start, here's what you do next, and here's what you do next. And it sounds like this you wrote to be very tactical so that whoever's reading it can get what they need to get from it, but also do the work beyond it.
You know, to your point, you know, I tell people, I make people agree with me. Sorry, like I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not any sort of medical provider. So if you're working on some stuff underneath you need to go talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. And I've had people I've worked with a counselor, they work with me. I take you through what are the steps you need to do to actually make it go away. We go find out what causes it, and then I show you how to let those emotions up, and then I give you the steps and strategies and accountability to make it happen, you know? Here's the thing. I can't do the work for you, just like I can't prospect for you. Well, I can't prospect for you, but most people can't afford that. I'm being a wise guy.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Being wise, right? Like, hey, Michael, can you call for me? I can, but
I could.
I'm going to need $300 an hour, you know, and you could do somebody else for $6 an hour. I can't. But the point is I can't make you sit with your thoughts. I mean, I can't sit with your thoughts for you. I can't sit and let those feelings come up. I can't process them for you. Like, you've got to do that. The great thing is because of neuroplasticity, I can unravel a 40-year ball of yarn in like 2 months. It's crazy.
There's a lot of people who've been through things. They've allowed it to paint broad strokes across what their life looks like, what their business looks like, their relationships look like, their money looks like. How do you feel like unresolved pain shows up in a sales business?
I think the metaphor we're looking for is you go to a house and you're on a listing appointment and that the front yard is strewn with garbage and a car on wheels and all kinds of other crap. How often do you go in the house and the inside of the house is mid-condition?
Very rarely.
Never, right?
If it looks like that outside, it probably looks like that inside.
That's us, man. Whatever's happening on the inside is going to show up on the inside. Overweight, limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, super huge fluctuations in your bank account, huge lack of inconsistency, beating yourself up. Lots of people who are assholes. You know what an asshole is?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Keep asking you for advice. You give it to them and they don't do it. People who are chronic learners. They've been to every conference. They know every script, every dialogue. They've read every book and they don't apply any of it. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the person on the stage to say the one thing that cracks open their head. And by the way, we agree they're not bad people. These are still very good, loving, caring people, worthy and deserving of amazing things. But when you don't go deal with what's getting in the way, It stays the way. And here's the thing, it gets worse over time. Unresolved issues, your brain continually forces them at you until you deal with them.
Yeah.
Right? You can push it down, it's going to come back up. You can push it down, it's going to come back up again. Unresolved issues can lead to really serious things like severe, PTSD, severe anxiety, severe depression, in very, very extreme circumstances, suicide. The chickens always come home to roost. They always do.
What does rebuilding actually look like when your reputation, your confidence, or even your identity has taken a hit? I got a buddy coming into real estate here pretty soon and had a very high profile life prior to something that happened. And now he's kind of rebuilding, but that confidence of what do people see when they see him? Do they know the story? Do they believe the story? What does that look like?
Just what Jay Kendra says. He says his give a F is broken. My son may be the only person who's less attached to things than he is. But, I'd say, hey, listen, I'm just going to take the keys to your car. He's like, okay, here they are. Doesn't care, right? His give a F is broken. And so this is where it needs to get to. And it's not easy. And if you go to my Facebook page, it's still there. I want 2021. I got a Red Sox hat on. I got a black or blue t-shirt and it's open to the public, but I'm sitting on my couch and I'm going, what if people knew I was a convicted felon? What if people knew I was sexually abused? What if people knew that I cheated on my wife? What if people knew that I have my kids? All the things, right? Just what if? And I remember somebody telling me, whatever you own, it can't hurt you. And so I got on Facebook and I recorded like a 17-minute video of everything that I had ever done. Like everything, you know what I'm saying? Ate this pie when I shouldn't have this, like everything.
Yeah.
And I just laid it out there because I'm like, you know what? Because once it's out there and it's out there and so
freedom.
Yep. Listen, I'm a convicted felon. I screwed up. And I'm saying I wasn't trying to steal money, but I wasn't exactly trying to be a good guy. I cheated on my wife 4 times. I've loaned $16 million. I blew $6 million. Screwed up my kids' lives. One of them tried to take their own life. I filed for bankruptcy 4 times. I've had cars repossessed. I had to short sale one of my houses. I did it all.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it. And if you don't like it, well, then that's just TFB. And that's the same F that we used earlier. And once you can own that and not care, it all changes for you because you're not defined by that. You're defined by that if you continue to accept it. I think that's the big play between guilt and shame, right? Guilt is I messed up. Shame is I am that behavior.
That's right. You take on the identity.
Yeah, you own that. Sometimes sit around and wish I hadn't done things. Yeah.
You said something earlier. You said that the chickens always come back home to roost, and
always.
You telling the story of your kids. I hear you saying that, and it's like, man, I just had this stark realization that when the chickens come home to roost, they may not necessarily roost in your hen house. They might be in somebody else's. It could be your kids. Something that you didn't resolve could show up in something in your kids, and that's a very scary thought.
Not could, will.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Going back to call reluctance and identity and all, what are some of the first signs that an agent has call reluctance? Like for somebody who's listening to this, they're like, well, I make my calls. If I just had the right people to call, like I would make my calls.
Am I allowed to do that with my eyebrow? Right? If I just had the right people to call? So it shows up a lot of different ways. Sometimes it shows up as negative emotions. I'm not good enough. I'll never be good enough. Anxiety, depression, fear. Sometimes you get the classic fight or flight symptoms, dry mouth, sweaty palm, sweaty pits, upset stomach, lightheadedness. The interesting thing is, Mike, is that when your body goes into fight or flight mode, 99% of the time it's without your permission. And that's what we want. We don't have to want to think about, should I run, right? So basically what's happening is it's shutting down your digestive system. It's pumping adrenaline and epinephrine and norepinephrine into your blood. And it's dilating your pupils so you get more light in. You got to pee. Your lung capacity expands. Like literally goes right into that. Mm-hmm. Or you completely go blank. Or you go
that was my experience. I'm glad you said that one, because when I was first getting through call reluctance, and it still shows up at times, as easy as it is for me to talk to people, sometimes I'm like, all right, here we go. But it was cloudy thoughts. It was trying to remember a weird place. I wasn't there 5 minutes prior, but then all of a sudden here it is, and I'm there. Or you get on the phone and you got marbles in your mouth.
And that's what happens. And even after you master it, sometimes it comes back. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it'll just sneak its way in because how old are you? In your 40s, right?
Yeah.
It's been around for 40-ish years, 4 decades. You know what I'm saying? It's been around longer than sneakers and underwear and hair in your head. It's been around forever.
Yeah.
So even once you master it, I mean, 99% of the time it's not around, but if sometimes you let it creep in, it'll try and make its way back a little bit, right? Not always, every once in a while, but it's a habit. So anyway, yeah.
So give us a simple follow-up framework that an agent can use this week.
Okay, great. So before we go any further, just a recap. Don't want to call people you do know. Don't want to call people you don't know. Don't want to call anybody. Getting off the phone with the first sign of resistance. I'm not interested. We already have somebody. We changed our mind. All that is call reluctance. Don't want to talk about money. Have to talk about commission. So here's the framework. I'm a big Byron Katie fan. Byron Katie wrote a book, The Work. She's got these questions, and basically when something happens, one of the first questions is this true? I mean, is it really true that I'm no good, I'm not good enough on the phone, that I'm not worthy? Is it really true? Who am I when I have this thought? And then who am I without this thought? Okay. So just check it out and keep those questions there. So initially, oh my God, people aren't going to like me. I'm bothering somebody. Is it true that you're bothering somebody? Maybe. I mean, is it really true you're bothering somebody? I mean, if somebody raised their hand and said they wanted to buy a home, or if they had listed their home as an expired or was withdrawn, or if it's FSBO, you're not bothering them. You're trying to help them. And then who am I when I have this thought? Well, I'm an inconsistent, low producing, weak real estate agent. Who am I when I don't have this thought? I'm a strong, powerful, valuable advisor and asset to the right buyer or seller. Now, here's the thing. There's fight or flight, and then what we have now is called rest and digest. So right now we're in rest and digest. All the bodily functions are kicking along the way they're supposed to, keeping us alive, blinking, breathing, saliva, right? As soon as you get triggered, that's when all that other crappy stuff kicks in. The only way to get out of fight or flight and into rest and digest is through breathing and calming down. Because what happens is your brain feels the need to run up and protect you right away. It's been doing it for decades. It's afraid of something, but it equates the fear of that something with the fear of whatever's coming down the pike. And even though you're 40, I'm 58 almost, our brain goes all the way back to when we were 5 and says fear is fear is fear is fear. And when we feel fear, we run. And so what happens is when the brain goes, okay, we're scared, you go, nope, we're good. And you stop for a second and you do some square breathing. Okay. And you just breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and just keep doing that. Okay. And it's just a matter of what we call being present or focusing on the present. If I'm thinking about all the bad things that can happen if I make this phone call, anxiety and fear kicks in. If I think of all the bad things that happened in the past that as a result of me making decisions like that, anger, sadness, depression kicks in. But if I'm focusing on the present, none of those things kick in. So now if you want to just amplify that, what you can do is make a bodily movement. I touch my fingers to my index finger and then make a statement of the present. So I'm feeling this way. I go, okay, I'm just sitting here talking with Michael Collier. Brain goes, oh, focusing on that. And then do some square breathing. And what happens is your brain goes, oh, there's the present. It lets go of all that crap. Now, done enough times on a consistent basis, eventually your brain stops feeling the need to protect you, because every time it's jumped and protected you, you've gone and done the square breathing in present and say, don't worry about it. Eventually your brain's like, okay, I'll go find something else to worry about. Okay. My suggestion is start challenging what the feelings are, what the beliefs are. Not good enough. I'm not good on the phone. I'm not good enough. I'm going to be rejected. It's too early. It's too late. They're going to hate me, all that stuff. And then challenge that and ask yourself if it's true. Is it really true? Who am I when I have this thought? And who am I when I don't have this thought? And then force yourself to be present. Just watching TV. Fold your hands, clap your hands, grab your ring, stand up straight, fold your arms, scratch your head, pick your nose. I don't care. Just make a bodily movement of the present so you connect with your body in the now. Just sitting here talking to Michael Collier. And eventually,
like Tony Robbins says, motion dictates emotion.
Ding dong.
Yep. Right?
Yep. And you got to take control of it. That's all this is, Mike, is just literally learning how to control your emotions and go from reactionary to responsive.
Yeah. Man, that's good. I hope everybody who's listening to this is able to grab that. Again, the book,
Rethink Everything You Think You Know About Prospecting, available on Amazon today.
Rethink Everything You Think You Know About Prospecting.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. Go grab that on Amazon. We'll put the link in the show notes as well so that anybody who clicks on it. All right. So I want you to complete these sentences. I'm going to give you the lead in, and I want you to
Wait, there's a pop quiz? I didn't know there was a pop quiz. I got a pop quiz?
Well, that's because it's a pop quiz. If you knew it was coming, it wouldn't have been a pop quiz.
Wait a second.
Right?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Here comes your quiz reluctance.
No, I'm good, man. Lay it on me. Lay it on me.
Wet pits. Here we go. All right. The reason most agents avoid the phone is
the fear of the unknown on what's waiting for them on the other side of that phone call and all the bad things that could happen that could hurt them.
The boogeyman. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
A script won't save you if
you haven't internalized it. Although, if you take it and read it without sounding reading, it's better than not having it all. But it won't save you if you haven't learned it and internalized it and have it in front of you.
Okay. I was thinking more like if you don't use it, you got to pick up the phone and use it.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm 1 for 2, 500.
Yeah. Okay, no, there's no right or wrong. Here we go.
All right.
Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you
already have. It's already in there. It's already in there. Back to Tony Robbins calls them references. We've succeeded in other areas of our life. That confidence is already in there. You know what I'm saying? I remember Zig Ziglar said something. He talked about people being afraid to do this and afraid to do that. He says, you're telling me that if a snake came your way, you wouldn't take a stick and strike at it to protect yourself? I say this to people all the time. They're like, no, I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. I'm afraid this bad happened, this bad. I'm like, you know what? I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. If I came over and started whooping up on your kid, you'd run? They're like, I'd jump on your back and I'd gouge your eyes out. I'm like, well, it's already inside you. You just got to channel it.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Michelangelo quote. I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. Michelangelo believed that the carving was actually already in the slab of marble. He just actually was chipping away the things that were covering it up. So similar to that courage that you were talking about, that confidence, it's already there. We just have to unveil it. We have to discover it again. What's the most expensive lead in your CRM is?
The one that somebody else converted.
Oh man, that's painful. Yeah, we've all been there before. All right, last one. If an agent wants to double their business, they need to stop
focusing on why they can't and focusing on instead what they need to do to actually make it happen.
Let's go. I absolutely agree. And man, you're off the hot seat, Wally. You did amazingly well. That. Absolutely. Leverage is not just hiring people, buying tools, or building systems. Sometimes the first form of leverage is removing the emotional block that keeps you from doing the simple thing that creates income. That's where it all starts. So today's episode is a reminder that the confidence that you're looking for is already there because you've already succeeded in other areas of your life. So muster it up and get out of the way. Get out of your own way so you can actually go out and help more people. So Wally, for the agent listening right now who knows that they're capable of more, but keeps avoiding the work, what would you say to them?
The pain of change and the pain of staying the same are not the same kind of pain. Okay? And the pain of change is way more acute. It's much stronger. It's not right. But eventually it goes away, and it goes away for good. The pain of staying the same hurts all the time. And sometimes it's not too painful. Sometimes it gets really painful, and that goes back to not being painful. But it's always painful. The pain never goes away. We make it manageable. We get used to our own dysfunction, but it's always manageable. So the pain of change, it hurts bad. But eventually, once you deal with it, it's gone for good. What pain are you going to choose? Are you going to stay the same and let it hurt for the rest of your life? Because there will be a day, whatever it is, that you're going to look in the mirror. Or do they say that hell is the man you are, the person you are meets the person you were meant to become? And that's happened to me before. I met that person a few years ago. Hell is when the person you are meets the person you were meant to become. That day comes for all of us. You don't get that time back. You don't get to unravel that ball of yarn. So as Brian Tracy would say, eat the big frog first. Decide that you are no longer going to sit with the dull, ongoing ache, and you're going to feel the pain you need to feel and deal with it. I mean, honestly, Mike, if people spend just a couple of months working on this, they'll go away for good.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Well, Wally, you've been a great guest, man. Thank you so much. Go order the book, read it, and then come back and share with us what you got out of it. We would love to hear from you. I'm sure Wally would love to hear from you. Wally, if they wanted to contact you, what's the best way to see you? Are you on Instagram or all of the socials?
I'm every year at Wally Bressler, Wally at $1,000,000produceros.com. Cell phone's 214-334-1356. If you're struggling as to why you can't get on the phone or can't get in front of a camera, let me know. It takes me about 5 minutes to help you figure out why it is, and then another 10 to explain how to overcome it. But love to help you out with that.
Good.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Hey, you've been a great guest again. Hey, guys, everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Leverage Lounge. Hope you got something out of this. Go back and listen to some of our previous episodes, because if this one touched you, I'm sure the other ones will as well. Take care, everybody. Have a magical day.